Well, another season of American Horror Story has ended, and this one will have you saying,
I'm looking for something that says, Dad likes leather.
Something that says, Leather Daddy?
Season 11, titled New York, will have fans of the show divided, with the bulk of its horror manifesting not in a monster, slasher, or supernatural element, but the AIDS epidemic. That's not to say the season is without its trademark killers, we'll definitely get into that, but those take a back seat as the characters face a far more vicious and unrelenting foe. So put on your leather outfits, let's take a look at what New York has to offer. The year is 1981, I'm not even born yet, and New York is under attack. Bodies of dead men have been springing up around the city, their corpses chopped into various pieces, and no one seems to be doing anything about it. NYPD officer Patrick Reed has noticed a pattern. All these men are gay, but when he suggests the department look into it, he's dismissed. The force can't be spending all its time and money on men who are runaways getting caught up in drugs and illegal activities. So Patrick's boyfriend, and I should mention Patrick's still in the closet, a man by the name of Gino Borelli, decides to take matters into his own hands. He runs a gay paper called The Native and wants to bring attention to this killer who's targeting their community. What we'll find out is that there are actually two killers. One we'll come to know as the Mai Tai killer, aptly named since he would buy his victims Mai Tais, and the other Big Daddy. At the end of episode 1, Gino's investigation leads him to a bar where he's drugged by the Mai Tai killer, but when the killer finds out Gino was in the military, he spares his life. He won't kill a fellow brother-in-arms. It isn't until episode 7 that we find out what the killer's true motivations are. Why is he targeting gay men and chopping them into pieces? The identity of the killer is discovered when it turns out one of Gino's sources, a gay hitman by the name of Henry, used to employ him to dispose of bodies when he worked for the mob. The man goes by Mr. Whiteley, a male nurse slash ex-Vietnam vet with a penchant for Mai Tais. When Gino and Patrick go to investigate, they're captured by him and are shocked to discover the Sentinel, a Frankenstein-type monster sewn together by different parts of gay men he killed to create a, quote, beacon of hope for the gay community. Like Gino and Patrick, the Mai Tai killer believes the plight of the gay community falls on deaf ears. No one cares about them, so in order to make people care, he must show the world their suffering. By killing over and over again and constructing this gruesome creature, he wants to show the world how they've been treated.
The Sentinel is our salvation. He will save us. He will show the world our suffering and will redeem us.
This is how the Mai Tai killer justifies his murders. He believes them to be necessary sacrifices in the greater fight for justice. But his plans are foiled when Patrick is saved by Gino and Henry. You see, the Mai Tai killer had no use for Gino and Henry and had them locked in another room. Patrick, however, was wanted for his, quote, brave heart. You see, the Sentinel is composed of only the very best parts of his victims. Beautiful parts for the outside and noble parts for the inside. Patrick's heart will be the last part needed to create the Mai Tai killer's masterpiece. But on getting free, Patrick aims his gun at the killer, where we can see the host of victims he killed behind him. The killer is shot, ending his rampage. At the end of the episode, Gino writes that within the gay community lies a monster, one built up by society's expectations on who and what they are. If you believe the gay community to be criminals, deviants, and monsters, that's what you'll become. So he suggests to throw away what society thinks and be proud of who you are, and only then can you become your own Sentinel. With the Mai Tai killer dead, you'd think the killings would stop. This is American Horror Story, and there are 3 more episodes to go. Throughout the season, many of our characters have been stalked by this beast of a man known as Big Daddy. His first appearance is in episode 1, when a character by the name of Adam finds him in Central Park. But as the season progresses, more and more characters have run-ins with him, some more deadly than others. But Big Daddy isn't real, at least the physical manifestation of him. He's rather a metaphor for the AIDS epidemic, which was first officially reported in the United States in 1981, the same year the show is set. In episode 1, we meet Dr. Hannah Wells, who's investigating an unknown virus affecting deer on Fire Island. Her suggestion is to kill all the deer so the virus doesn't have the time to leap to humans. Fire Island also happens to be a favorite spot for the gay community to party. The deer therefore become a metaphor for the lives slaughtered by HIV/AIDS. AIDS. Dr. Wells also meets with a woman claiming to know the origins of the virus. This is Fran. She worked as a lab assistant on Plum Island, where she claims doctors mixed animal diseases with human ones to engineer a virus that could target specific people. Ticks then would become this delivery mechanism, and since AIDS was first reported, rumors circulated that the virus was created by the CIA to wipe out homosexuals and African Americans. Back on nearby Fire Island, Theo Graves is killed by Big Daddy as his fallen brothers to the disease meet him in death. In fact, almost every character who doesn't die to the Mai Tai killer dies to Big Daddy. Dr. Hannah Wells, the person who first tried to raise alarm over this new virus, contracts it while using her best friend Adam's semen to conceive. Using a turkey baster, no less. Don't ask me how that works. It's implied Adam contracted it while being visited by Big Daddy in Central Park. But there are two characters who are seen by ghosts of ex-lovers while dying to the virus. The first is Sam, played by Zachary Quinto. He's a high-end art collector in love with Theo Graves, a star photographer whose work brings out the beauty in the ugly. Sam is haunted by Theo, who shows him dying alone in the hospital. All his money and wealth mean nothing now. Sam is obsessed with giving people pain, and this stems from his childhood. As a child, he was abused by his father, and as a young man, even though he worked harder and faster than any of his colleagues, he was overlooked for promotions because he was gay. Thus, he spent his life hoarding art and money to stick it to the Wall Street boys. In his final moments, Sam is confronted by Big Daddy, but when he takes off Big Daddy's mask, he turns into a beautiful man. Remember, Theo's artwork centered around finding the beauty in the ugly, and that's what Sam is finally doing here. He's turning something ugly and making it beautiful before he dies. The second person to be visited by a ghost is Patrick. His ex-wife Barbara, who he unknowingly gave the virus to, acts as a sort of ghost of Christmas past, showing him how the trauma of his life made him who he was, and only by confronting it can he truly move on. Patrick had to hide who he was at work, and even turns against his gay partner. His father despised him for being a wussy who couldn't fire a gun, and this pain, Barbara says, broke into pieces, just like the Mai Tai killer cut up his victims into pieces. Gino is the only one there for Patrick in his final days. Patrick's IV hasn't been changed, he hasn't gotten any food, more evidence to show that these patients were seen as pariah. Even in his death, Patrick's family snubbed Gino and closed the casket, even though he and Patrick wanted it to be open so that the world could see what he died from. Adam Carpenter, who had been helping Gino expose this killer among the community, continues the investigation as Gino's illness worsens. At every corner, Adam learns the hard truth that no one seems to care. The doctor at the morgue refuses to believe any of these deaths are related, and Pizzazz, the bathhouse owner, says she's contacted public health about her patrons becoming sick, but no one has come. We see Gino buy AZT, the first drug to treat HIV infection, which has some serious adverse effects. Big Daddy frequently visits him, a reminder of the illness that will slowly consume him. Much of the episode is a visual representation of the devastation this virus has caused. We see dozens of men fall into their own graves. Gino drinks green liquid, a metaphor for the radioactive therapy he and so many went through. From 1987 to 1991, we see how the virus affects Gino and those around him. He'll succumb to the virus, making sure to have an open casket, leaving Adam one of the only few characters alive at the end of the season. But now I want to hear what you thought. Has the show tread too far from its roots, or has it successfully transcended into something else? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, please be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.